says, which I understand, call me when they start getting jailing and start charging these people. Here's the thing. Mark Meadows, who's Donald Trump's chief of staff from last term, he is currently being prosecuted in the state of Georgia. And it was paused temporarily because Fonnie Willis is the one who was prosecuting that case, and she was trying to appeal to make sure she can still prosecute, and she was denied, and they started again. Mark Meadows asked the United States Supreme Court to save him from prosecution, and they said no. That was like what his first term is, 2025. Let me see, who's the other person? A lot of Donald Trump's associates went to jail. Steve Bannon went to jail for 4 months. Several of them lost their law license, but this happened during the next term. So any terms in terms of accountability, it's going to take a while. So if you're waiting for that, that's going to be a minute, because it's not going to happen while we under this regime right now. They're going to be accountable later on. In the meantime, I think we should take some joy and celebration when people get made whole. And what I do in this account is I share the extent to which people are being made whole. For example, someone gets their passport. They deny someone from coming into the country because they just blocked them randomly, who had already bought their ticket, who already been approved to be a refugee, and the Trump administration just ripped it from under them, and they've already sold their stuff, and they're just sitting in the airport, and their kids are pulled out of school, and they out of luck. And in some cases, because of the judges say these people are on their way, you got to let them come back. And those people have come back. That's a win. When they rank off, like, take away the infrastructure funding for New York subway system, or for example, or they take away funding from a school, and a judge says, put back the school for cancer, put back the funding for cancer research, put back the funding for the infrastructure, and the Trump administration sends it back, and we benefit from that. That's a win. When someone is a trans and the Trump administration, Donald Trump issues executive orders stopping them from getting a passport because they say you can only recognize male or female and they're trans. And because of the judge's order, that person gets to get their passport back. That's the win. When the kids were about to be deported, and the judge says, take those kids off that plane and put them back in the orphanages. Those kids are now in the orphanage. Granted, it was traumatizing, but they could have been instead like just dumped off in another country, but instead a judge told them to put them back and leave those kids alone. So those are wins. So even though they're doing crazy stuff, to the extent the judges are stopping them and yanking them back, we need to celebrate that and not just be like, we only want blood. It's not a win unless they go to prison. They may go to prison, they go to jail, and all this stuff going to happen to them, but it's not going to be instant, and it's going to take a while, obviously, because they're still in office. So be patient. In the meantime, let's celebrate when they try to do stuff and they're held accountable by people yanking them back. So that's what I do here, JJ Legal. If you don't know, each one teach one. Share this video. Follow along here on social media. That's what I do for you. All right.